Why do these serial killers open up to you at all? Why you?
Well, interesting question. I think if we come away from serial killers, we go to John Cannan, who murdered Shirley Banks in Bristol, definitely Susie Lamplugh, and certainly Sandra Court in Bournemouth. To give you an idea, when he was finally locked up for life, I wrote to him to say that I wanted to write a book about him. And he came back very cocky and said, "Oh well, no, I've got dozens of authors and publishers want my exclusive story." So then I got John Blake, my publisher, to sort of send me some pictures of my book covers, and I sent him those with a letter saying, "Well, thanks very much. I really wanted your assistance. I think you've been stitched up by the police, John. I'll write the story without your cooperation. Thanks a lot." So I put him between a rock and a hard place. And I tried to use the same fishing techniques with women and male serial killers. It's finding out what their wants and their needs are. It's like beach fishing. You know where the fish swim, like Robinson. You know what he wants, but it's a case of casting the right bait to catch him. With Melanie Maguire, who's in that book, The Ice Queen, she was in New Jersey, upscale woman, good lifestyle, chopped up a husband and threw him in bits and pieces in the Chesapeake Bay. But she had hundreds of letters and publishers wanting her. So I wrote on cream Conqueror paper like this laid stuff, this cream stuff, with an envelope. And then I put my family crest wax seal on it, and I sprayed it with Chanel Egoiste. So when she opened the letter, she's got an airmail stamp from England, which makes it different. It's classy stationery. She opens it, and there's this sense, this smell that she remembers. Egoist, oh yeah. And it's something she'll come back to, because it's a sensory thing. So I use that bait with her.
It's interesting that you managed to get yourself through the door by finding out what these people want, what it is that they want, and then dangling that. But how about when you actually sit down with them? Have you got a process? Obviously, you tend to spend a lot of time corresponding back and forth, but when you eventually do get face to face with them, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you're saying, or the way that you're acting, which is encouraging them to give away more than they usually should?
Well, one of the tricks of the trade, if you like, is one thing that law enforcement, my friends in the FBI will tell you, and British police, police can't use entrapment. They can't entrap a person. So, but I can, and it's really about making them feel comfortable with you, and you letting them know that although that you're on their side, but you know you're not on their side, and you're chatting really. And now there could be an end game to it for me, like with Arthur Shawcross. I wanted him to confess to a murder of a little schoolboy called Jack Blake, and he told me, I won't use the language now, but he was inches away from me, and the guard said if he loses the plot, he could tear your head off, Christopher, and we won't be in the room. Now, with Shawcross, he literally boiled over. He went white, his face went white, sweat pouring down his face when I mentioned Jack Blake. He told me not to effing mention it, otherwise he'd kill me. And he was, well, but I leant forward and touched his knee, and I said to him, well, your girlfriend Clara's waiting outside, and she's asked me to be the best man at your wedding, Arthur, and she's going to go ape if you don't tell me the whole truth. And then his face, there's a TV interview, or you can see it online on the program. And he cracked, and the fury went, and he confessed. And it's a case of sometimes they'll eyeball you, and they will say something bragging about, like Michael Ross did, the strangulation marks, multiple marks around his victim's necks. He got a kick out of that. He giggled. And then I looked at him straight in the face and said to him, Mike, you know, you're not a big serial killer, really, are you? I mean, 7 or 8, you're not Ted Bundy. Give me a break. Come on, boy. And he just looked stunned. And then he went on to try to describe more about what he'd done. You know, and I got 2 cold cases I cleared up with him, which were Zungnok 2 at Cornell University and a little girl called Kimberly Logan in Crystal Run. So it depends how you play it. I mean, sometimes it's a serious matter because you're there to try to bring closure to the next of kin, and you're the only person going to talk to him. So there is a heavy side of it.